Okay, folks. So we did one, we did two. Now we know. I think I changed these. I think I had installed Node.js before we SSH'd in, so I flipped those. So now what we want to do is we want to get our JavaScript runtime installed, and that's Node.js. Now, I use Node Source to do it. You have some other way that you prefer to do it, Node Version Manager, or just do sudo apt install Node.js. You could do it that way. I just like Node Source. I've been using it for a long time. Whether you choose to use it is up to you. But if we scroll down here a little bit, if you're going to use Node Source, you could just click right here to copy. Now I don't have the latest version of Node. I guess we could do that too. Let's do this. Let's just go to github.com, github.com/node source. Go to distributions. Right, so github.com/node source. Eventually, for my repository, or here, it's just /p Richardson. Scroll down, and the latest version they have is 20. So the only thing you would really need to change is the number. Maybe I'll update it so we're at the latest version. All right, so maybe I will. Let me just let me grab both of these lines, and I'll update so you guys don't have to even do that at all if you choose not to. Well, I can't update it yet because I don't have the code yet, but I will on the repository. Right. So I'm going to copy this. Okay, so let's come back. I'm going to I'll leave that one open, I guess. And now we're at a terminal. Again, if you're not, just right-click in blank space, open an integrated terminal, and now we can just paste and hit enter. If you just happen to have SSH'd in from a terminal on your computer, meaning you didn't use VS Code to SSH in, it wouldn't be any different, right? So if you're installing Node, just open a terminal on your Mac or your PC, and just go ahead and paste that same line in after you SSH'd in. Right. Cool. So now we can test, right? We can do node-v, and it'll tell us an npm-v will tell us the package manager for Node. npm will just allow us to install packages. There are others that, if you know there are others, you don't have to ask me if you can use those. Of course you can. Right. And I don't mean ask me permission. I mean ask me if it'll work. Yes, it will. Okay, so let's see here. Let's just look at our steps and see where we are. If we can get a little more into this video, that'd be good. Oops. So we have Node. Yeah, let's clone the repository while we're here. So we can do both of those. Right? All right. So we're going to come back, and all you need to do is go to. You'll be at this main page for the Node Critter Trap, and if you go over to Code, come down, and you can just choose to copy this line. So you can copy that line. Now let's go back to VS Code. Now, if you install something like Ubuntu, Git is already installed. In this case, with Bullseye, it is not. So before we can use Git, Git is source control. Don't worry too much about that. If you're just trying to get this up and running, and you don't want to know about source control, don't worry about it. If you're kind of heading down the programmer path, you need to understand source control well. So ton of videos out there on Git or other source control packages. So make sure you learn a little bit about it. But I'm just going to do sudo super user do. It's kind of like running as admin on a PC, or if you're on a Mac, you know what sudo is. Install Git, apt install, by the way, apt. And it's going to probably ask me if it's okay. I'll just type yes, and this will install the Git command line, Git CLI, the command line tools to interact with GitHub, and Git -- version maybe. There we go. So we're all set. So now we can do Git clone, and this line is you can grab. I assume I have it on the GitHub link. And we can clone that repository. So if you're kind of following along here, right, we just did this line here. So now we need to switch directories. Right? So we can do, right, CD, just start typing Raspberry Pi. You can hit tab so it auto completes. Hit enter, and if we type ls to list the directories, it'll tell us what's inside of there. All right. Awesome. Okay, so we need to, I guess the last thing we should do is we'll just stop right here. So we'll do an install to install our dependencies, and then we'll break and I'll start a whole new video. So what do I mean by install the dependencies? Well, if we look inside of our folder, you don't have to even do an ls, right? The nice thing about doing SSHing in from your Pi with remote SSH, here are your files, so you can actually see them. But if you look inside of package.json, npm install will install all of the dependencies. Right? npm ci would use package lock.json. It's beyond what we need to deal with here. But these are the dependencies that we will need as we go. So the way we install those, and what it'll do is it'll put a node modules folder and it'll pull all of this code in for us. We can do npm install, and it'll take a little bit, especially since we're getting the TensorFlow libraries. Now, if you decided that the only thing you want is just the read switch, you don't have to do npm install at all. I'll show you what you could have done instead. I guess here, let's do it this way, make your life easier. What you could do is you could open up package.json. If you're like, all right, I don't need to do anything with TensorFlow. That's the computer vision stuff, AI stuff. You could get rid of those. Make sure you get rid of the commas too. Right? And you need .env. Although in the big picture, let's just say you need .env. If you're not going to do camera stuff, you could get rid of that. If you're not going to send text messaging, you could get rid of that. If you're not going to do anything with pushing the files up to Cloudinary, you get rid of that. And now you just have .env and on-off, right? So you could kind of choose what you want. At a minimum, if you were going to, you wanted this to send you a text message, and that's all, well, you would need this at a minimum, right? So just like that. So .env. On-off is the package that will allow us to control the pins on our Pi, and Twilio will allow us to send text messages. So you would need those at a min. Okay, so now we're good, right? You'll notice it added this node modules folder, and we can move on and start doing some tests. And we'll do that first test with just the read switch. So we'll get the read switch hooked up.